Hi, today I'm covering Khalistan referendum from Canada, and I'll be talking to Mr. Jatinder Singh. He's a director from Freedom for Sikhs community, and we'll take his stance on Khalistan referendum and what he thinks about. He'll also talk about the background of Khalistan movement and what does this referendum means for whole Sikh community and Punjabi community in India and all over the world. So let's talk to him. So, sir, can you tell us about little background of the Khalistan movement and how it started, and what does it mean now? Like, why you are doing these referendums all over the world in European countries, North America, and currently this one specific in Canada?
Well, I mean, the question is a very complex one if you answer it. And to sum it up, Punjab was an independent country ruled under Maharaja Ranjit Singh before British colonialism. With the annexation of Punjab and the departing of the British, they offered the Sikhs their own country. However, the Indians made solemn promises that they would, give Sikhs rights under India, and thus it would be better to pool our resources together. The Sikhs of that era believed the Indians and thus stayed and opted to stay with the Indians. Upon independence, the Indians broke all promises and said, sorry, we're not going to honor any of the commitments we made to you as a people. So after that, massive amount of discrimination and human rights violations commenced, and Khalistan flows from those human rights violations, acts of discrimination, and broken promises. The people of Punjab realized that we would never get justice or our rights within the Indian Union. Thus, we had to exercise our right to self-determination externally so that we may govern ourselves and be sure that our people are protected from state aggression.
Okay, so Khalistan movement blames a genocide. Like 1984, Indian government committed a genocide against some Sikh people from Khalistan movement. But Indian government always denies it. They say it wasn't against a community, it was just against few terrorists who were supported by a neighboring country and their intelligence agency. So what's your stance on that?
Well, I guess we would have to start from the law, right? What is the definition of genocide? The definition of genocide is the complete or partial killing of a community based on ethnicity, nationality, religious, and there's another one, say race, right? So we acknowledge that the Indians targeted Sikhs because they were Sikhs, right? So Indira Gandhi gets killed, and then throughout India, the Indians target every Sikh that they could as a way of collectively punishing the Sikhs. What did they do? They killed all the Sikh men and they raped the Sikh women. So they it's the complete or partial killing of a community. They killed Sikh men based on their religious identity. They didn't kill them because they believed they had a role to play in Indira Gandhi's assassination. They believed they were Sikhs, thus they had to die. So this is the classic definition of genocide. When you target a group of people based on their religious identity, solely based on that, and you choose to kill them, you are committing genocide. So, I mean, India can say whatever they want, but by legal standards, they have committed genocide. Now, I know you were referring to the acts that happened in June. Now, June was also an act of genocide because India targeted the Harmandir Sahib, and it targeted 20 to 30 other Gurdwaras across Punjab. They chose to target Harmandir Sahib on a very religious day so that they can maximize the number of Sikhs that they killed. So again, you see this systematic campaign to target Sikhs, the general public, solely based on their religious identity. So I mean, these are clear acts of genocide. India can deny it all they want to. The province of Ontario, where we are today, officially recognizes November 1984 the killing of Sikhs as genocide.
So, sir, what's the importance of conducting referendum here in Canada and other European countries and stuff? So, and why India does not allow you to do referendum there in India, where actually most of the Sikh population resides?
So, well, Western countries today respect the right of freedom of speech and freedom of expression. So Sikhs that have settled in the West, or those that have come here in the forms of students and various other means, have the ability to exercise this right. Now, Khalistan is a very prohibited subject in India, so those people in Punjab cannot talk about it. So why are we doing this referendum in Canada and the United Kingdom and in European Union? Because we have that right. We can exercise this right. Now the Indians have done a great amount of work to show the world that majority of the Sikhs don't want Khalistan. But no one's asked the Sikhs what they want. So Sikhs for Justice decided to ask the greater population of Sikhs, do you want Khalistan? And how do we resolve this matter? Through a referendum. Why the Indians are so scared of this, I mean, it speaks volumes to what they truly know. The propaganda that they've said Sikhs don't want it, only 4 or 5 Sikhs want it. Well, that's clearly not the case, because if that was the case, they would not be worried about a referendum. They would know the answer would come in, no, we don't want to leave India. But because they know majority of the Sikhs do want independence, they're doing everything they can to stop this so that the truth doesn't come out. And unfortunately, they have no ability to influence Canadian politicians, Canadian laws, European politicians or European laws, and thus referendums have been conducted in the United Kingdom, they've been conducted in Switzerland, they've been conducted in in Italy, and now they're being conducted here.
Okay, so that's great. And sir, what was the outcome of last 2 referendums you held in Canada, and you also held in Europe before? So how much people came out for voting, and how much voted did they cast in yes or no? If you could tell the number.
So the number of people that came out in Canada were over 100,000. In the United Kingdom, were 100,000. I mean, in Italy, again, we're seeing those exact same numbers roughly come out. The actual results will be open at one time, so we don't want to give out the results of England in the fear that it may impact or influence the voters in, say, Canada or Australia or wherever. So we're keeping those numbers closed or private until we are ready to release the total outcome and the number of people who voted and the votes that they cast.
And what about complaints from Indian government to Canadian government to stop these referendums? Did government reach out to you, Canadian government, and did they try to stop you on the pressure of Indian government?
No Canadian government official, law enforcement agency has reached out to us and said, please do not do these referendums. In fact, they give us, well, I mean, they don't give it us, we rent public places. This is a city of Mississauga property where we're going to be doing this referendum. The previous location for the referendum was the city of Brampton property. So, to quite the opposite of what the Indians want, the government and the various levels of law enforcement are very cooperative with us because they realize we are doing a peaceful exercise. We've made it quite clear it's not non-binding. It's a question to the Sikhs that we're asking. It's a private, peaceful matter that's democratically, through a democratic way, that we've asked the people to discuss Khalistan. And the Western powers seem to be very appreciative of it, whereas it's India that seems to be, very disproportionate in its behavior towards this non-binding referendum, which only sheds light as to what they truly believe about freedom of speech and what they truly know about the fact how many people truly want Khalistan.
Thanks so much, sir. The last question is, so what would be your message for the other people of Punjab or other Sikh people who are not coming out to vote in the favor, and what message do you give to the whole world about the Khalistan movement? That what is it, if you want to say anything to them?
Well, the message to the whole world is that Khalistan is a peaceful movement that believes in democracy, that believes in the ballot, not the bullet, and we wish to democratically, peacefully resolve the question of Punjab, whether it should secede from India or remain a part of the Indian Union. To the people who don't believe in an independent Punjab, we encourage you to come out and vote no. I mean, this is what freedom is. You have the right to vote no in this referendum. You have the right to vote yes. The yes vote does not suppress the no vote, and those who believe in India cannot suppress those who believe in Khalistan. I mean, this is freedom. So we encourage everyone to participate. Everyone is welcome. If you believe in Khalistan, vote yes. If you believe and don't believe in it, vote no. That is your right. That is the beauty of a referendum.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time and talking to us. Thanks
No
so
problem.
much.
Thank you.
Hi, so I was talking to Mr. Jatinder Singh. He was a director of Sikhs for Justice, and he explained a lot about the Khalistan movement. This is a completely peaceful movement, and there is no negative about it. People can come and vote in yes, people can come and vote in no. It's up to them. and let's see how it goes from there. And we will be doing more coverage on the referendum, and we'll come up with more interviews.